Rough Terrain Adventures have teamed up with the members of Off the Beaten Track for a great day at Tierkloof 4x4 just outside Rawsonville. It's now 6:30 AM and the crew are arriving at the Engine N1 North on what is proving to be a pretty fresh morning. As soon as they arrive, people disappear to go buy that much needed cup of coffee. And for a few here this morning, this will be their first encounter with Tierkloof. There's been some rain over the past few days. No one is sure of the exact impact that's going to have yet. The weather expected over Rawsonville is cloudy skies, maximum 22, minimum 8 degrees. Sunrise is approximately 7:28 with a very light wind from the east. We plan to leave at 7 AM and arrive at Tierkloof at approximately 8:20. Well, that's if I stop talking and take note of the time. By the way, we departed late. Morning. Well, we've arrived now at Tierkloof 4x4. Fantastic drive this morning. Roads were relatively open. As you can see in the background, everybody has started airing down their tires. Tire pressures that the guys are ranging between, I think, is anything from 1.2 bars all the way up to 1.5, 1.6, depending on their tires, and personal choice naturally. We are going to have a driver's briefing in a couple of minutes once everybody has aired down. Go over some of the rules for the day, sort out the hand signaling, make sure everybody's got their sheets with them, and then hit the trails. We can come with those hand right, signals. Briefings are pretty important on the day. However, in these clips, pretty boring to watch, so we're going to skip right past that and get onto the departure and onto the trail. Judging from the weather, I think the weatherman got it a little bit wrong. Seems to be warming up quite nicely as we drive up the first bit of the track, heading towards the first obstacle. Noticing beautiful, beautiful blue skies, not a single cloud, on really what is turning out to be a stunning, memorable day. The views here from Tierkloof, if you're overlooking the Brandvlei Dam into the mountains in the background, absolutely stunning. You're going to hear me say this a few times. Absolutely stunning. You can see the number of vehicles. We've got about 13 vehicles here on the track today. We have vehicles ranging from the big Jeeps through to your standard Buckies, your Fords and Toyotas, all eager to get to that first obstacle. As Cape Townians, we're so fortunate to have such beautiful areas. Our playground, all within 100, 200 kilometers from where we live, is absolutely stunning. We have everything from these mountains that you're going to see here today. We've got dunes, we've got some Tankwa, which is just on our doorstep, wine farms with 4x4 tracks. We really are spoiled for choice.
There's our obstacle.
Once everybody parks, if we can proceed up to the obstacle.
As simple as this obstacle looks, there are multiple lines here. You can go up on the far right, up the center, up on the left, and each line has its own set of advantages and disadvantages dependent on the vehicle that you have. My line, as you'll see, I'm going to go straight up the center. Is that necessarily the easiest line or the hardest line? Depends on what vehicle you drive, depends on the capabilities and what line you see for yourself. I think the most important thing to take into consideration here is traction. In some places your tires will be on rock, in other places it will be on loose sand. Finding that traction will be key to conquering any of these obstacles.
Seatbelts on.
And you'll see now, that's what I meant. My front tires get onto the solid rock and my rear tires are still on the sand. Traction here is everything. Here comes Pierre in his Jeep. This Jeep is a manual gearbox, and you'll notice the differences between the drivers with automatic gearboxes versus manual gearboxes. These obstacles were handled very differently between those two transmission types. Damn, it's impressive watching these Jeeps climb obstacles. They always make it seem so easy. And this is Shando in his Jeep, making it look so effortless the way he just slowly crawls up that obstacle. This is Wasim in his Land Rover Disco. Watch, he's taken a whole new line that nobody else has tried yet he makes it look simple. Wasim is one of the off the beaten track ambassadors. I drove Welgelegen 4x4 with him about 2, maybe 3 months ago and got to see how amazing the traction control is on that Land Rover. Reggie brought his Jeep out to stretch its legs a little bit, and boy, look how this guy drives that car. Reggie, nice new bumper, my friend. Your vehicle is looking stylish. Well, that's the view. Absolutely stunning. I'm not the best cell phone videographer, but that takes you to the lookout point that we were just at. Absolutely stunning. You'll see that's the first group of cars that have come through. We're waiting for the second group to join up to us. They will also go down to the lookout point on the right hand side, turn around, meet up with us. And if you look there, you can see the trail going up the mountain. In that section where you lose the trail, that's one of the big climb obstacles with a nice wall to climb. Absolutely impressed with all of the vehicles that I've seen come through today. Here is the Ford Ranger coming through Going to the lookout point. There we go, such a beautiful view. One of the main reasons why I enjoy 4x4ing in the tracks is when you get out here, you know, it's a complete break from brick and mortar, from work, from everything in life. It's, for me, it's almost a weekly reset. I absolutely love it. That's some of the kids who have come out today, some of the teenagers, to join us. They've gone for a little bit of a walk on a path which looks like it's going all the way down, probably a little bit of sightseeing for them. But yeah, this is a great day. I love having the kids out with us. It makes it more of a family event, and the boys generally absolutely love it. The wall, my favorite obstacle on Tierkloof. A couple angles that you can take. I've taken it very wide. For me, that looks like one of the more challenging lines. I have a little bit of fun there. Miscalculated it in one wheel as it's rotating in the air, but my baby Prado, she does well. Clemmy and Gersh driving their Colt. Gersh from the first bucky going up the wall today. My friend, show them how it's done. Precision driving. Well done, my friend, well done. Here is another off the beaten track ambassador, Rayan, bringing his overlanding Pajero on a 4x4 track today, pushing it through its paces. But boy, he did well, and he came out clean at the end. Well done, Rayan. Hand signals on a track make a spotter's work so much easier when the driver is in sync with the spotter. Hand signals give you very clear and direct, precise instructions to follow and make the world of a difference when trying to get various vehicles through a rough terrain. Wayne, the D-Max King, driving his line with precision and ease. This Isuzu, I've seen it in so many different places, surprises me every single time. The traction control on these Isuzus is something to take note of. They really, really are amazing. Watch the line that Darvier takes in his 76 series Land Cruiser. This is the second dedicated overlanding vehicle cracking Tierkloof today, and doing it with ease. On a 4x4 track, you can never sit and relax. You've got to be aware of your wheel placement the entire time. Sections of tracks become narrower, there's rocks in the way where you run the risk of cutting a sidewall, damaging a tire or even a rim, which is not something you want to do as a repair on the side of a mountain. Often you can do this in very precarious angles, making it incredibly difficult to do a repair job. So while driving, be aware of rocks on the side, of where you've got to put your vehicle, and sort your lineup going through a lot of these things. The devil is in the detail and in the preparation, so always plan your wheel placement 2 to 3 maneuvers ahead, allowing you to seamlessly get through a lot of tricky places. If needed and you have a co-driver, get your co-driver to step out as a spotter to assist you through some of these areas if you're not sure. We err on the side of caution, as again you don't want to have to deal with these types of repairs, and the cost of tires nowadays, not worth it. When a simple bit of guidance will make all of the difference. Right, we've now completed about 3 or 4 of the first set of obstacles. Everybody's basically made it up. A couple of cars, as you can see, have surprised us with the lines that they've taken and what they've achieved. With that, as simple as some of the obstacles look, or as difficult as some of the obstacles look, if you do not get the line correct, you will have an issue. I had to reset 1 or 2 vehicles just to help. Reset lines, pack a rock or 2 in the place. And we got everybody up, which was fantastic. We're now heading up basically towards the lunch stop. We'll wait for the second convoy now to complete the last obstacles, meet up with the guys who are camping on the top, spend a little bit of time there having a lunch, and then we will attack the second half of the track. The track composition here is rock, probably a bit of shale, a lot of dust and sand, very slippery and very bumpy. A few steep ascents, so keep conscious of your throttle, maintain a steady pace, and you will climb these beautiful mountains. We're on one of the final ascents now. Once we get to the top, we're going to stop for lunch, which I think is at 650 meters above sea level. I'd like to introduce you through to Aristo Steyn. He's from Precinct Medics, and he's going to give us just a couple tips on what can happen in an environment like this that you've just driven through, and give us tips on what we can do in an eventuality of somebody getting hurt. So Aristo, I hand over to you.
Oh, Graham, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Yeah, guys, as Graham said, I'm from Precinct Medics, myself and Debbie there behind the camera. We are volunteer medics in Bottasig, Richwood area, so we run volunteer calls. As Graham says, in this place where we are today, there's a lot of nice vehicles, but there's no ambulance here. If something happens, and things can happen. Some of you that saw when Graham came up here, he thought he could take that obstacle. I was licking the rocks there. So you can have a vehicle tipping over. What do we do? So the first thing I'm going to show you is things you always have to have with you. This is not negotiable. A roll of duct tape. It doesn't only fix people, it also fixes vehicles. Cling wrap. Believe it or not, this is a medic's best friend. And I'll tell you now what you can do with this. The other stuff lying here, I'll show you now. And then another little thing you need for your first aid box is this awesome little thing I've got in my hand here. You can see it folds up very small. It is a splint. You roll it out. You can form it to any wound, body part, whatever you need for a fracture or anything like that. Because, face it guys, what are you going to get here? Possibly a fracture, a sprain. So what do? If blood is coming out, not good, stop it. If someone has fallen and you think he's broken an arm, he's broken a leg, what's the first thing we're going to do? We need to splint that to keep it secure. And what are we going to splint with? If you have this, you use this. If you don't have this, that's when you start improvising. Something that everybody else has got in their vehicle. Wheel spanner. If I fractured my arm, there we go. Strap it fast. It's secure. There. I can strap here. Anywhere. Need a longer splint? You've got a tire rod that you need to put them together. There you've got a longer splint. Easy peasy. That vehicle there. There you've got off-road tracks. You can secure somebody with that. There's vehicles here with safety nets. That one there, the Jeeps, there's safety nets. You can use that to secure people. Anything you can get to splint. Pick up a branch. Obviously branch is not always straight, but do the best you can. Cling wrap. Wrap it around. Not only can you see what's going on there, it also secures it. So if there's extra bleeding or you now suddenly see it turns blue, cut it off, resplint it quickly with your cling wrap. Uncle, come here. Hou op, skinner. Okay. So he's broken his arm. Your arm needs to be kept secure. Are you going to keep it secure here? You're going to put it there. You're going to do that. He's got a built-in sling. Yeah, he's got a bit of a safety cushion here. That's going to help it. But there you've got a built-in sling.
You got to edit this out, eh? You got to edit this out. Okay.
So
I got it.
That's the easiest way of securing someone's arm. So folks, that is just quickly some basics that you need to do. Clear the wound. Keep it, stop the blood. With any injury you sustain or anything, main thing, keep your patient calm, you stay calm, make them comfortable in a vehicle, and as fast and as safely as you can, get to a hospital. They will sort him out.
We've started the descents on this track, and you'll notice the speeds are incredibly slow. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we averaged about 2.5 kilometers per hour. Here we've got some of the drivers just coming out to check the track, ensure they understand what they're taking their vehicles down, and it helps them interpret exactly what is being shown by the spotter as well. Makes a big difference. Watch here how Chad drives down in his Hilux. Note how the body gets pushed around with the weight of the vehicle as your front wheels drop into different holes. It's quite an experience and something to get used to, especially for some of the first time drivers. With tires, everybody has their own personal preferences. Wasim's preference here is the Renegade RTs. If you want to know why they were Wasim's favorites, next time you see him, pull him aside and ask him. I'm sure he'll be only too pleased to give you a recount of his experiences with those tires. The Nav for Life Navara, Jason. I think it's the first time I'm really driving with Jason. Never really known much about a Navara. However, looked at what he's done, front bumpers, some of the hop-ups that he's done. Very, very capable vehicle, and he drives it like a pro. This Pajero Sport, possibly one of the most surprising vehicles for me on this track today. It it conquered everything that it attempted. When we struggled here and there, we just reset the line, and she went and she drove it. It was really amazing to watch and exciting to see. We've just heard over the radio that one of the vehicles has got a mechanical issue with a rod end. Fortunately, Gershwin and the rest of the OTBT guys managed to assist with cable ties and ratchet straps to recover the vehicle and carefully drive it off the track onto a gravel road where it can be suitably repaired. Just want to say thank you to Gershwin and OTBT for the assistance with Mark. Thank you very much, guys. We never leave a brother behind. These ruts can't leave one a little bit anxious. If you look at the clearance inside the ruts and the walls of those ruts, by comparison to your body, it feels incredibly close. There is a bypass route round to the left. I think a lot of the guys had fun attempting this one. There's Shando in that Jeep again. Watch how he makes light work of this. Shando, it's unfair, you make it look too easy. Now watch the ruts walls as Shando comes through. It is very close. The Dakar Spec Hilux busy lining itself up perfectly for these ruts, and watch it go. Wow, what a track. It's been an absolutely amazing day. We're all back now, busy airing up, sorting out Mark's vehicle for the repair job tomorrow, and getting ready to hit the road and go back to the bump and grind of the city life. If you've enjoyed Rough Terrain Adventures, please click on the like and subscribe tabs below to follow us. Our next trip will probably be a Horn and Clip. Keep your eyes open and get ready to join us on our next adventure.